Hey everybody, welcome to June 2022 astrology forecast. Let's see what's going on this month, June 1st through 4th. We have an unfortunate aspect. Mercury is squaring Saturn, and this means that we're going to have a lot of miscommunication. We're going to feel like Eeyore, like the glass is half empty. I would say this first week coming up, don't get bent out of shape if people don't respond to you the way you would like them to or the way you expected them to. There may be just some simple miscommunication where they just aren't getting what you're trying to say. And so instead of getting maybe defensive or harumphy or annoyed, be the bigger person and just give them a little slack and try to, reiterate what you meant instead of getting defensive and having it maybe cause problems. On June 3rd, Mercury stations. Now, he's been retrograde, as I'm sure we all have felt for the past few weeks. So when a planet stations, what that means is they're going forward in the sky, then they station, stop, and then they don't really move backwards, but it looks to us from our vantage point on Earth that they're moving backwards. So then they start to move backwards in the sky, and then they stop, station, before they start moving forward again. So Mercury stations on the 3rd. He starts moving forward again, but that doesn't mean that we're out of the woods, even though he's not technically retrograde. When a planet is in that part of the sky where they started moving backwards, that's called the shadow period, the shadow phase. So until he's completely out of that shadow period, which is going to be June 11th, I would still be a little on the cautious side regarding signing contracts, buying big ticket items, anything travel related. I'm not saying put your life on hold until the 11th, but I would check the hotel right before you leave to make sure they really do have that reservation. Make sure the car rental, the plane, everything is like copacetic in the way it's supposed to be, because you may find that, sorry, we don't have that reservation, but let me make it for you now, so you saved yourself a lot of hassle just by being a little OCD. It doesn't hurt until June 11th. So the theme for until June 11th with Mercury is be a little OCD. It's okay. Another important aspect that happens in June is that Saturn is going to go retrograde for 4.5 months. This happens once every 12 or 13 months or so. It's not really a big deal. However, we will feel it in two ways. So if you've been a very generous, magnanimous person, kind to others, putting good vibes out into the world, then guess what? You're going to reap that good karma in the next 4.5 months. If you haven't, or if you have been, let's say, kind of ignoring your own house, like not paying your bills, eating too much, smoking too much, drinking too much, gambling too much, whatever, too much, it's going to start to really catch up with you. It's going to be noticeable, the effects of your quote bad behavior. So take this next 4.5 months as a time to really kind of like get your own house in order, proverbially speaking. Like, get your shit together, see where in your life you feel like you're screwing up, and make some efforts and take some initiative to get that under control, because this is going to be a really good time to be able to see your own stuff that needs fixing and to set a plan and to stick with it. Saturn is the planet not only of karma, but it's the planet of restrictions. And when it goes retrograde, those restrictions kind of turn inward rather than out toward the world. It's more of a time of having a reckoning, having a come to Jesus with yourself about what you need to do to get your life in order. Okay, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's actually, it's good. We all kind of need to take stock of, our progress and where we need to do some work. So, take advantage of it over the next 4.5 months. Don't be scared of it. Okay. On June 3rd through 5th, we have a cool aspect. Mercury's a busy planet this month. Mercury is going to be sextiling, which means making a 60-degree angle to Neptune. Neptune is the planet of fantasy and creativity and intuition and all things woo-woo. So this is going to be a great time for artists, musicians, poets, filmmakers, people who are creatives, to get downloads and to be super creative. Also for psychics and mediums, we're also going to get a lot of downloads. Neptune really ramps up intuition, and Mercury being the planet of communication, it's a win-win for people who do what I do. So take advantage of those couple of days. On June 9th through 11th, we have a really interesting aspect happening between Mercury and Pluto. They're going to be trine, meaning they're making a really happy angle to each other. And so the flow of communication is going to be working especially well with the realms that Pluto is in control of, which is talking to dead people, the underworld, the mafia, criminal activity, as weird as that sounds. This is a good time to use your gift of persuasion to talk someone into doing something that you want them to do. Do not use this for nefarious purposes, please, but it is a good time where you're going to be able to sway someone with the gift of the gab to kind of go in the direction that you want them to go in. Keep it on the up and up. Try not to do anything nefarious, because don't forget, with Saturn being retrograde, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So be good, kids. You know who has this aspect natally in their birth chart is El Chapo and Ghislaine Maxwell. Go figure. Our understanding of the underworld is heightened at this time, and it's good for also uncovering secrets, in addition to persuading people to do something that they normally would probably say no to. So I hope you don't use this for nefarious purposes, but if you are trying to persuade someone to do something that's out of their wheelhouse or like out of their comfort zone, you'll probably have success during June 9th through 11th. Just saying. All right. Most of the month, up until June 24th, Venus is going to be in her home sign of Taurus. Now, she loves being there, and we're going to feel very sexy. We're going to want to like lounge around. We're going to want to eat really nice food. We're going to want to go shopping and buy beautiful things. This is a very like luxurious, decadent vibe. So enjoy it. It's just going to be a very pleasurable time. So I'm not saying like skip the gym and eat macaroni and cheese with lobster every day, but just enjoy when you do cheat, like, cause it's gonna taste really good. And enjoy like beautifying yourself. These are a good 3 weeks if you want to like do something new with your appearance, get your hair cut or get a makeover or buy some new clothes. It's all about beauty and like just self-love, self-care, spa treatments, like all that stuff. This is a great 3 weeks to like really indulge and pamper yourself. Treat yourself. Okay. The other morning, I got up really early at like 4 a.m. before sunrise to bring my tripod out onto my deck to capture the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, which was beautiful. I'll link it. I'll throw it in here. And those planets are in Aries. So there's a lot of like fire energy at the beginning of June where we're going to be really revved up to like get out there and conquer. And this is actually a really good time. We're not delusional. Like this is a really good time to get out and crush your goals and make things happen. So take advantage of this aspect. It is definitely, we're going to be feeling it for, I would say the whole week of June right now. Now, the 11th through the 12th, Venus conjuncts Uranus. Venus being the planet of love and Uranus being the planet of shock and surprise. We're probably going to experience some weirdness in our relationships. Not just romantic relationships, but it could be other kinds of relationships, with your boss, with your employer, with your children, but, usually with lovers especially. When Venus and Uranus come together, expect the unexpected. People are going to start acting out in relationships If things are at all a little dull, we or our partner may want to shake things up and do something a little shocking. Like, say you're with a guy who never looks at other women. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden he starts acting weird and like flirting with other women. You're looking at other women at a party, you know, and you're going to be like, what's going on? People are going to be like kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit in relationships. So just expect that. And if you're doing it, just be aware that, you know, oh, I wonder why I'm acting like this. This isn't me. Like, I don't usually think these kinds of thoughts. Like, it's probably because, you know, Uranus and Venus are getting together. People may also, when this aspect is going on, put the relationship at risk. And this is sometimes a make it or break it period in relationships. So if you feel pushed a little too far, you may decide to just walk away. And I'm not saying stay if someone's being shitty, but if it's like a really weird, you know, out of the norm occurrence, you may want to take this one with a grain of salt if it happens during that time of June 11th through 12th. Okay, one great thing that happens, I think, great, is on June 13th, Mercury goes into Gemini. Now, Mercury's been in Taurus for a while because of the retrograde. And so Taurus is a very take your time, kind of plod along, you know, go move very slowly. It's very grounded. It's an earth sign, right? So Mercury doesn't love being there. It's fine. It's not terrible, but things move very slowly communication-wise when Mercury is in Taurus. Now, when Mercury sails into his home sign, his home turf of Gemini, things are gonna like be more quick and sharp and exciting, and communication is gonna be like zoom, 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 zoom. You know, there's gonna be a lot of activity. There's gonna be a flurry of people wanting to get together and make plans, and so there's gonna be a lot of like hubbub. I like when Mercury's in Gemini. I think it's a fun time, and especially after the plodding sensation that we've experienced for so long in the last month or so, it's going to be a welcome relief. So that's mid-month on June 13th. On June 15th through 16th, we have the Sun trining Saturn. Now, this is another, even though Saturn's retrograde, this is a really good time to initiate changes in your daily routine. Oh, develop a budget. This is a good time to develop a budget. See, I made all these notes like 3 weeks ago, and I've forgotten already like what I was writing. When Saturn is trine the Sun, we are very sharp. We're very focused. We don't get distracted easily. So you can really use this time to sit down and figure out a plan regarding your finances, regarding just structure in general, regarding your life, especially for your career and your job. This is a really good time to do that. And that aspect lasts the 15th through the 16th. Okay. Yeah, when Saturn is trining the Sun, it's a great time to reach your goals. If you take things seriously, you can really make some serious gains and feel good about yourself. However, on the 16th and 17th, now the Sun is going to be squaring Neptune. Again, the square is a hard angle. It produces conflict, hopefully conflict resolution, but definitely conflict. For this aspect, I would kind of phrase this deception, because Neptune, when it's making a difficult angle to any planet, the negative aspects of that planet, of Neptune, will come out. And deception is definitely, unfortunately, one aspect of Neptune, where we can trick ourselves into believing fantastical bullshit. You know, in our mind palace, we're married to Brad Pitt, and, you know, we're living on a yacht and eating caviar for breakfast. But when, you know, the Sun is square Neptune, we can actually get really lost in fantasy land. So stay grounded. Don't go crazy, like believing things that are nonsensical, because it's very apt to happen. So if someone wants to sell you a bridge, run away. Okay. Also, don't waste money during this time, the 18th, 19th. I wouldn't even go shopping. I would leave your credit card at home. Remove the temptation, because you're going to want to spend money and you're going to get home and be like, oh my God, why did I buy this? Also, don't ignore your responsibilities right now, and don't ignore your obligations to other people, because it's going to be really tempting to blow off bullshit that you don't want to do. Like, oh, I promised them I'd help them move, but I really don't want to. I'm going to pretend I have COVID. Oh, I mean, I hope you don't have friends that do that. That would be shitty. But, and I know that's like an extreme example. I don't think anyone would really do that. But don't let other people down, because it's going to be tempting. But don't be that person. Be a good friend. On June 14th, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. And this is very cool, this full moon in Sag, because it's one of the first moons in years, feels like, I think it is years, that when it's been in Sag, that it hasn't been in an eclipse, bringing like super loads of dramarama to us. So Sag is a great moon. I love it. It's a fun moon. People they want to like explore, they want to travel, they want to learn things, they're curious. You know, it's the last of the fire signs. It's a really like extroverted, outgoing, fun party sign. So take advantage of this full moon. I think it's going to be a fun one without all the drama. Okay. Now, on the 24th, we have Venus going into Gemini. And similar to Mercury going into Gemini, this too is a fun, like, it's going to be a great time to have just like simple 30-second conversations where you don't have to like reach into the depths of the person's soul and like have all these, you know, deep meaningful, I mean, it's just going to be like shooting the breeze, talking about silly things, and everyone's sort of on that same page where you can be light and fluffy and it's fine. You don't have to be all like deep. So enjoy that Venus in Gemini second half of June for conversations, for just meeting new people and being able to, you know, make small talk. There's one aspect that's interesting on June 18th to 19th. There is a Venus square Saturn. This is going to suck. Venus square Saturn makes us feel kind of like needy, lonely, depressed. You know, people who have this in their natal chart tend to have bad luck in love. For instance, Johnny Depp has this in his natal chart. And, you know, his luck hasn't been exactly stellar in the relationship department. It's normal to feel lonely and depressed during this time, but it's also not a bad time to spend some time alone. So the 18th and 19th, that might be a great time to do like a solo trip or a little hike, or just kind of hole up and watch Stranger Things or whatever. Just alone time. Trust me. It's easier than the alternative. I had already put the camera away and was starting to edit this video, and I forgot to mention solstice. Yeah, so solstice, when Sun is going into Cancer, is going to be at exactly Tuesday the 21st. Oh, it doesn't have the time. Oh, I thought this was like the be-all and end-all of the Ephemerises, but the season of Cancer is a good time to concentrate on family, hearth, home, a good time to just lay low if you're not feeling like traveling. It's a good time to pay attention to the condition of your house, to do work around the house and the yard. So enjoy summer, okay? Enjoy that Cancer season that we have coming up in a few weeks. All right, so that wraps it up for June. I hope you guys liked this astrology report. And if you are interested in a reading, I'm not doing astrology charts right now. They're really, really time consuming. I don't just use a computer printout like a lot of people. I actually spend hours with each chart, and plus as a psychic, I pick up a lot of other information when I'm looking at charts. But right now, for the past few years, I've been concentrating solely on doing psychic readings and mediumship readings. So Although I'm not doing personal charts anymore, I'm happy to answer comments and questions that you guys leave in the comment section if you do have any. Okay? So enjoy your summer. I will see you back here in a month for July. All right. Kisses. Bye, everybody.